My husband left me and my 3 children because I called the police. Am I the AO? Hey beautiful people, and welcome back again to another Radic threat. My name is Maria Davis and thank you all so much for joining today. A little backstory. I, 27-year-old girl, and my husband is 26. Have been together for 4 years. I have 2 daughters from my previous marriage, and we have a son together. I work a full-time job during the day, and throughout most of our relationship, he has been unemployed. I made him get a job and we started falling behind on bills, and I was both physically and mentally exhausted. Once he started working, he would work overnight and take care of the children during the day while I was at work. The problem comes in when I found out that he would take a nap around 11 a.m. and stay asleep until I got home around 3 p.m. Most of the time, it would take the 3-year-old, which is his son, to the bed with him and lock the 4-year-old in the kids' bedroom. He would usually give them a communal bowl of dry cereal before deciding to take a nap. Since the 4-year-old was locked in the bedroom, whenever she had a bathroom, she had to go to the bathroom to make the choice of paying herself and getting in trouble from him for having an accident or take her pants off and pee on the floor. Due to this, the kids' room reeks of pee. We recently had an ice storm that pretty much shut down the city. As a city, we live in a city that doesn't really get ice snow often. I was stuck at work because I was already at work when the snow ice started. His work closed for the whole week and schools closed the whole week, leaving him all alone with the 3 kids. We have 1 working car and it is in his name. It is important to the story. On Tuesday that week, he made me drive home on the icy road in a car that I have never driven on ice or snow. I told him that I was not comfortable driving home in his car, but he said that the kids were driving him crazy and he needed me home. So I drove home on ice so that you couldn't see the lines on the road. The car did not have 4-wheel drive. I made it home safe and told him that since I made it home that I will go into work on Wednesday. His response is that I wasn't allowed to drive his car for the rest of the week because he did not want me to go back to work. That caused me to call out for Wednesday and find someone willing to drive me to work Thursday. Since I was home all day Wednesday, I know the kids did not get locked in the room and they got fed 3 meals plus snacks. It was the first time in a while that they did not come to me saying they were starving. Thursday comes and he takes his nap around 11 like usual. The difference is that his work was debating on opening that day depending on if they had enough staff to make it. So he calls me and asks if my grandparent or aunts could take the kids for the night. When I told him that they are not going to have to talk over, he said never mind and went back to sleep. At this point, he had told me that he gave the kids some rice for breakfast and a nut grain bar before nap. 3 p.m. came and I could not get a hold of him. We have a security camera in the living room that can be accessed by phone. So I opened the camera to see if I could see him or the kids in the living room. The apartment was dark, but I couldn't hear the kids. The 3-year-old had opened the door to the kids' room and they were playing in the hallway. I called them over the camera and asked where my husband was. They told me that he was asleep and that they are hungry. At this point, I called my mom and asked if she was willing to go to my place to give the kids food. So she agreed and got them McDonald's. I was hoping that she would get there before he woke up and he hates my parents. That was not the case. He woke up and called me before my mom had gotten the food. When I told him that I called in a favor and someone was bringing the kids food, he asked, "Who?" I tried to just leave it as it was just a favor from someone because I knew that if he knew it was my mom, he wouldn't let her in. Ooh. I was right. As soon as he found out it was my mom, he took the kids to the very back of the apartment, turned off all the lights and stayed there. When I called to let the kids know that the food was there for them, they would get excited. and start to get up, and then they would look at my husband and stay where they were. My mom ended up calling the police after knocking 3 or 4 times. When the police got there, he called me pissed off. He told me that this could have been avoided if he just answered the door or let the kids answer. The police knocked 3 or 4 times before he answered the door. At that time, he had spoken to the police officer through my mom's phone and told her what was going on. My husband still had all the lights off and barely opened the door. He claimed that he did not know that anyone was bringing food and argued with the officer for a minute before letting the kids get the now cold McDonald's. After the police and my mom left, a video called me and showed me that the kids had the food my mom brought. About a minute into the phone call, he said, "I guess I should come pick you up from work because apparently I'm not fit father and I shouldn't be alone with the kids." He knows that I couldn't just leave my job without losing it. I called one of the people in charge and asked if I could have my kids here. I also called the police to be neutral ground between us as it was very long and bad day. When we got to work, I took the kids out of the car and brought them to the building. He parked behind the building and came in. I would bring his laptop to work for entertainment and the school work. I am in college for business degree. He came in and took the laptop to the car. By the time the police had shown up, when the officer got here, he said he got a call for domestic violence. I told him that I was the one who called and just needed a middleman in case things escalated. I didn't think things would but figured better safe than sorry. I told him that the kids was going to say, "Stay with me," and before I could finish the sentence, he left. I did not have a change of clothes for the kids or pull out for the youngest, so I called my mom and asked if she could watch them for the night. I spent the night at work and I did not have a way home. Friday afternoon, I got a text from him. He said that he drove to Texas and was not planning on coming back. When I asked why he left, he said, "You, who I should have been able to trust above all else, betrayed me. How can I trust anyone who distrusts me so much that they call the cops on me?" Now, this would be different if it was the first time. He had not probably fed the kids. And every time I suggested that we change schedule, so he works during the day and I work over the night, he shut it up. He also shut down sending younger to daycare so that way we know that we are being taken care of and he can get the rest he needed. Since he shut down every idea to make sure that everyone was taken care of, I felt backed into a corner and I could not let my babies go hungry. Though most of the day. With that being said, I did not want my husband to leave. Am I the asshole? Should I have done something different? Issue the AO. First of all, why you write so long paragraph or so long story without paragraph? Like, my eyes were doing while I was reading it. Your husband is locking your own child in the room. He's practically maltreating them because he's not his child. So he's carrying his own child, taking care of him because it's his own child. He's not being responsible. Stay-at-home dad. You are the one working. Of course, you're the one paying the bills. You have to be calling your mom to bring food for your child and he's at home. Original post, you have been letting your spouse abuse your children by locking them in and starving them for how long now? What the actual F? Look, I don't know about your financial situation and how much you love this AO. But you need to choose between this abusive AO that neglects and probably hates your kids and your marriage. I was disturbed at the level of complicity in the abuse of the children this woman is displaying. She has been watching the neglect from a camera and smelling the urine and did not do anything then and there to protect our children, and now she wants him back. Of course, she knows what her POS is doing and seems to want to defend herself. That is no big deal for him, and he should come back because he suffered no consequences from the cops. He should be arrested for locking a toddler in a room to the point that she is repeatedly peeing on the floor because of lack of bathroom access. Honestly, she should have faced legal ramification too. She's absolutely a victim also. But this is very much facilitating child abuse, and I'm very concerned that she doesn't realize that. The way she just wrote about how this man stabs her children and locks one of them in the room for so long that the poor baby has to be all over herself, and then just continues on with the post as though that's not the overarching problem. It's like a Stockholm syndrome. How could she be so cavalier about the physical abuse her husband is putting her toddlers through? This is insane. Hey, like literally, I didn't even know there was even a camera in the house. Like you don't need to stress it. Once you've seen it the first time, once you come back home from work, you'll be like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what is the meaning? Like, if you'd have told him the very first time he did it and let him know that you saw it and you shouldn't repeat that thing again, you'll be afraid to do it. And now he hates your parents. He doesn't even want. He went to hide when your mom was around to bring food for the children that he's supposed to take care of. A lot of interesting comments on this post. I'm going to put some. You can pause and read. This one says, Jesus Christ, not because you called the police, not because you called your mom, because you allowed your husband to lock your 4-year-old in a room for hours with no food and making her pee on herself or the floor. What the actual F is wrong with you? You deserve to have CPS called on you and those poor children taken away from you. Shame on you. That's not a mother. Don't suck as contacting Leo. That's literally the only thing that was done correctly. I have to ask though, did he abandon his kids too or just yours? Either way, there's zero reason to have this guy. He's not carrying his weight and he neglects your preschool age child. The guy is straight up garbage. I'm side-eyeing you for letting it go on as long as it has did. You know how many times it should have happened before you nip that shit in the butt. And Hojume lost his kid because his ex-wife was abusive. You know why he lost? It was considered failure to protect. At this stage, that's kind of where you should have been after the cops smelled your house. Never take him back. Ever. Fight for support and get his wages garnished. I feel like when I was reading the whole thread the whole thing she wrote there, I feel like what she's concerned about is the fact that the guy left and she's feeling like, oh, probably she did something wrong and she wouldn't have done that. I feel like that is what she's concerned about. You're concerned about him leaving. What about the things he did? He locked your child in the room because he wanted to take a nap. Nobody's saying don't take a nap. Nobody's saying, see, when you feed a toddler very well, if you really give them food very well, they won't stress you. And if when you want to take a nap and they're not sleeping, you can even say, okay, everybody, let's stay together in the same room. Even though you're sleeping and they're all in one enclosed place with you, you can sleep, and they might even say, okay, there's something to do in this room, let us also sleep. If at that time you're taking a nap, might be their own normal time for taking a nap, you can train these children to be that way. But you single-handedly take your own son to stay with you and left your wife's daughters stranded, peeing on herself because she cannot have access to leave the room. That's crazy. Let me know your thoughts about this video down in the comment section. What is your take? Should the AO on now? Should you take him back or not? Kind of put your thoughts, your comment, your suggestion down in the comment section. I thank you all so much for sticking around to this point. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe, and kind of post notification bell so you can get notified when I upload another interesting video like this one. And I'll see you all in my next one. Bye.